Sup nerds, here's my updated WarGreymon OTK deck profile. Starting off with our Tama, we are running 4 BT9 Koromon. Your turn while Digimon has Agumon or Greymon in its name, it gets 1000 DP. We are playing this for two reasons. One, the Mirage matchup, we don't want to pass turn while we're trying to OTK them and clearing their Mirage stack. But also, this lets us hit a certain threshold with our BT1 WarGreymons to where we're beating over stuff in certain decks, and I'll discuss that whenever I get to the BT1 WarGreymon. And also, you don't really need the draw. By the time you push out, if you don't already have the OTK in your hand, the extra draw is not going to do anything for you besides maybe Rip Blitz Omni. And I'll show you guys the OTK combos for those that have never seen it at the end of the video. On to our rookies, we are playing 4 BT12 Agu. Evil's on top of Koromon 4-0. On player reveal the top 4 cards, add a Greymon or Omnimon, and 1 Tamer card with Taikami in its name, put the rest on the bottom of your deck. And then inheritable all turns while Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, it gets 1000 DP. Best rookie in the deck, searches 4 cards deep, also searches your Tamer, and obviously gives us our DP. Really good, wish I could play 12 of these guys. And then we are playing 4 BT5 Agus. On player reveal the top 3 cards, add a Greymon and an Omnimon in name, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck. So you can get like max value like Greymon and Omnimon, obviously, with this card, which is really nice. So if you already have a tie in your hand or set up, I would be hard dropping this guy if you need a Greymon piece and Omnimon for the OTK, as opposed to this guy, even though he searches 4 cards deep. I'd rather put this guy in the stack at that point. And then we are running 4 BT9 Agu X. Evil's on top of Agumon for 0. On play / when Digivolving, look at the top 3. Add a Greymon or Omnimon and an X Antibody among them to the hand. So spoilers, we're not running X Antibody, so that's never going to search that. But this is basically like a watered down version of these two guys, and it's an extra card in your stack for your protection effects. And that is it. We're just playing 12 rookies. On to our champions. We're playing 4 starter deck 1 Greymon, obviously. This is necessary for most of the OTK combos if you haven't poked your opponent at all. And then we're running 1 BT5 Greymon, potentially Evos for effectively 1 memory if your opponent doesn't have a memory blocker on the field. When Digivolving, if Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution cards, gain a memory. And then inheritable is your turn while Digimon has Omnimon or Greymon in its name, it gets 2000 DP, which is really cool. And then we are playing 4 BT9 Grey X. Evil's on top of Greymon for 0. All turns while Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and an effect would delete it or bounce it to hand or deck. You can trash 2 sources of the same level to prevent that from happening. And then we're of course running the one of Greymon X. Evil's on top of Greymon for 0. So like I said, we're not playing the X Antibody option, so the inheritable is never going to come up. We are playing this because you could potentially Evo into your BT12 Metal Greymon for 1 memory on this guy. So it's your turn while Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, reduce the cost by 1 for each of that card's colors. And that is it. We are just playing 10 champions. On to our ultimates. We are playing 4 BT12 Metal Greymons. Evil's on top of Greymon for 3 memory, has Raid, and then all turns once per turn when an attack target is switched, you may play 1 black or red Tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying the cost. Can potentially come up if you're forced to promote a little early and kind of like control your opponent's board. You can play your ties for free, but ideally, you're never going to trigger this effect or the all turns effect. You're just going to promote and kill them. Then the inheritable is your turn while Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, it gains Piercing, which is really important for the primary OTK of this deck. And that's exactly why we're effectively playing a 5th copy. 1 EX1 Metal Greymon. Evil's on top of red or black for 3 memory. When attacking, when Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. Usually not going to come up, but potentially. And then the inheritable is while we're playing it, your turn while Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its traits, it gains Piercing, so it's effectively a 5th copy of this guy. And then we are playing 4 BT9 Metal X. Evil's on top of Metal Greymon for 0. When Digivolving, this gains Security Attack +1 until the end of your opponent's turn. Then if there's a Metal Greymon in its sources, it also gains 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is really cool for getting an extra check and also being ginormous, so you're never dying to Security Digimon. And that is it, we're just playing 9 ultimates. On to our megas. We are running 4 BT12 WarGreymon. Evil's on top of Metal Greymons in name for 3 memory. Also has Raid. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this guy gets 3000 DP and Blocker, which is massive. That means just by himself, he's 15k when you go into him. And then all turns once per turn, when an attack target is switched, unsuspend this Digimon. That's really important combined with the Raid effect for the primary OTK strategy of the deck. And then we are playing 2 BT1 WarGreymons. Evos for 3 on top of red. When Digivolving, gain security attack +1 for the turn. And then your turn, this Digimon does not activate security skills on option cards it checks. This is really important for security control decks, WarGreymon decks, or just any random strategies that you notice they're playing a lot of bombs. You could potentially OTK them with this card and a Blitz Omni in hand. And I'll show you guys that whenever we get to it. But this is really good as the secondary Mega. That is it. We're just playing 6 Megas. On to our level 7s. We are running 3 Omni for games. This guy Evos for 4 on top of your Megas. When Digivolving Blitz, and then when Digivolving unsuspend this Digimon. You can order these effects however you want, so you Evo into him after you've already swung with your Mega, unsuspend, and then Blitz. Typically that's for game, but you can potentially do that just to clear out your opponent's security and basically make them deal with this guy. And he does have another effect, which is actually really important for, I would say specifically the WarGreymon matchup, more than anything, but it comes up against pretty much everything. All turns, and if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to its owner's hand or deck, you may prevent it from leaving play by trashing a level 6 Digimon card and this card's Digivolution cards. So what's really cool is you can combine this with the BT9 Gray X effect, and you can protect your stack from a WarGreymon proccing twice on it. So it'll try to delete it once, you trigger this effect or the BT9 effect, and then when it tries to delete it a second time, you trigger the other effect that you have not triggered. And you can actually protect yourself from a double WarGreymon proc, which is really cool. Assuming you haven't already killed them with this, but that can potentially come up, so I wanted to mention it. And then we are playing 2 Death Xmon from BT9. Does Eve on top of your BT12 WarGreys for 6. Potentially can come up if your opponent has like a Psychmon on the field or something. But the primary reason why we're playing this is because this deck kind of loses to like Rookie Rush Swarm decks that kind of just aggro you a little too fast. This card's a perfect answer for him. When you would play this card, reduce its memory cost by 3 for each Digimon and Tamer your opponent has in play. And then on play / when Digivolving, de-evo your opponent's board and then delete all of their level 4 or lower Digimon. And then end of opponent's turn, once per turn, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So this guy starts out at 20 and then reduces by 3 for every permanent on your opponent's side of the field. So if they have 7 things on the field, this guy just boom free and probably is going to wipe their board. If they have 6, he costs 2 memory, probably doesn't even pass turn. It gets pretty crazy if your opponent kind of swarms you a little bit. And even if you're passing turn with this guy, typically it's such a blowout that it doesn't matter. And that is it. We're just playing 5 level 7s. And then we are playing 3 Taikamias from BT1. Is a memory setter. And then your turn, all of your red Digimon with 4 more Digivolution cards gain security attack +1. This guy is really important for assuring that 1, we can promote and Evo into our Megas without passing turn. But also getting necessary checks to where when we promote, we're actually just OTKing our opponent through 5 security consistently. That is it. We're just playing 3 Tamers. On to our options. We are playing 1 Delicate Plan from BT3. 1 cost option. Main, whenever your Digimon gains security effects on option cards checked by this Digimon don't activate for the turn. Security effect adds this card to your hand. This is basically like a third BT1 WarGreymon, effectively for like the matchups that you really need it for, except for you can put it on your BT12 WarGrey, which your BT12 WarGrey is way more aggressive than your BT1 WarGrey if your opponent has a standing Digimon. So this is really important for, I would say, security control matchups specifically, as well as the WarGreymon deck, and like I said, any decks that you notice they're just running like an abundance of bombs. What you can do versus security troll is actually just set up all of your ties, just chill, kind of like just keep their board from like killing you, and just maybe poking them, making them deal with stuff randomly. And you can actually promote your BT12 WarGrey, pop this on it, and they probably have like a Death X or something stupid on the field, and just swing through their Death X, unsuspend, clear like 5 security, and then swing again for 5 more security, and then Blitz Omni for game. There's nothing they can do about it. So it's basically just like a silver bullet and an insurance policy versus security control and WarGreymon specifically. And then we are running 4 offense trainings, the promo, 2 cost option, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 red card among them, and that's why we can afford to just play like 1 Delicate Plan and just 3 ties because this guy searches them. Shout out Bandai for printing cards like this. And then main, delay, trash this card to Evo one of your Digimon into a red Digimon card, reducing the cost by 2. And then security effect is place this card in your battle area. So this lets you set up your OTK while chilling and raising, potentially. So you can just promote and pop this in Evo and potentially just kill them if you've already poked them a couple times if you haven't seen a Taikamiya. So it's kind of an insurance policy when you don't see your tie, as well as just searching all your combo pieces. And that is it. We're just playing 5 options. All right, now for the OTK combos. So this is an ideal stack. Obviously this isn't going to happen every time, but you can poke them with your rookies that you're playing to search and stuff like that. So like this doesn't need to happen every single game for you to win. So you promote this stack. It already has security attack +1 from this. It's already going to get a security check from this. And you evo into Metal X for 0. Gets an additional check from this and 3000 DP. And then if they have a standing Digimon, you evo into this guy. He gets another 3000 DP. And now he checks 1, 2, 3, 4 security. And he is 15, 18, 19, 20,000 DP. So he's not dying to any security Digimon. You swing, raid, unsuspend, pierce through your opponent's Digimon, 4 checks, swing again, you can raid through something else if they have something else on the field, 4 more checks, and then boom, evo into Omni, Omni will unsuspend itself, and then blitz for game. So that is the OTK with BT12 WarGrey. Now we'll go over the other one. So same situation, you promote evo into this guy first. And against like decks like Leviamon or something, if you don't have a delicate plan, you probably want to go into this guy. So you evo into him, and he gains a security check. So he is currently 14, 15, 16,000 DP because of this Agumon. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 security checks. So you just swing, 5 checks, no options, 16,000 DP. And then evo into Blitz Omni, unsuspend, and then swing for game. So obviously you're not going to have this Agumon in your stack consistently, at least not every game, but because we're playing this Koromon, it ensures that he is at least 15,000 DP if you evo on top of the Metal X, and that beats over Leviamon X in security against the Leviamon deck since he's 14,000. So basically the only thing you have to worry about is random level 7s that they might be playing, and the odds of one of those being in security are way lower than a Leviamon X, since they're playing like 3 to 4 of that card. But that is it for the list. Ideal games, you just promote one time, OTK your opponent through 5 security, and just win the game. Obviously not every game's going to go like that, but for the most part, like if you high roll, you're going to just probably beat most decks on like turn 3 or 4. But you also can like board control them like with Death X or the BT12 WarGrey raid effect. So you can also win grinding matches as well. But if you guys have any questions, anything I didn't address, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer anything. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.